Day 3, baby. Here we are. Can't believe this is happening, and I'm not going to constantly talk about that, but it is pretty crazy and exposing to be doing this, and this is really the third day, so I'm screwed. I made this commitment, and I intend to stick with it because it's a fairly public commitment, honestly, and boy, it's exposing, and I slept like crap, and this morning I was just thinking, man, I'm just gonna look so busted on this, and I'm wondering how I'm gonna look in Vegas at 6 a.m. So the live 9 o'clock commitment is definitely going to be one of the biggest challenges of my life for sure. So what have I learned in a few days? I went from zero camera use to turning on a camera. So we had the video in the car with the phone on day 1, which honestly I'm probably gonna lean into. That was a pretty good moment for me. And when I sat in the office, I found that I was like just kind of dragging a little bit. First of all, the morning is going to be tricky. There's going to be plenty of mornings where I have very limited energy and I'm struggling. But even though I was excited about the beginning of this, the fact is that my pace was honestly just boring. So being aware of recording and this moment is the practice, and that's what I'm excited. That's why I'm here, is to get the practice and to be consistent and to just get better looking at the camera and doing my thing. So it's just, that's an improvement. Got this office set up properly with some, reasonable lighting. It's certainly worth improvement, and that's going to happen. But the basics of the lighting in the office feels okay when I look back at it. The mic, I think, was picking up appropriately yesterday. I've got to get smarter about how that works. And again, if I stay here, how does that work? So that's the improvement I'm looking for. Didn't make that improvement yesterday. Had my first edit on Premiere Pro, which was comical because my wife's a big graphic designer, Adobe user for life, and she has been my support person for everything Adobe forever. And the fact that I was forget the word, processing, I guess, a video on Premiere Pro in order to upload it on YouTube was comical and celebrated. So, and then I did some editing, and since I'm not live again this morning, I'm definitely going to do some editing because I think I've said things like comical multiple times in one sentence. The frequency that I said excited yesterday was worth some editing, but in regards to the editing, I'm terrible at it. But that's the practice, and getting, at one moment I think I edited me in this position, and then as quickly as that I'm in this position, which, by the way, why was I even doing that? But it's an improvement, and it was stressful last night. As I was falling asleep, thinking about okay, what should this 9 at 9 cover versus what should the other edited videos cover, and how the F am I going to pull this off? Because even editing that one yesterday took longer than it should have. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing. I know that will speed up, but it's certainly time consuming. And if I have another one to do the next day and the next day and the next day, I'm dead. So the 9 at 9 is definitely going to be free for all, whatever comes to mind, like this. So when I started today, my intention was to start telling my story a little bit so that I can just get comfortable talking on the camera. Because just like public speaking, if you're not talking about something you're 100% knowledgeable about, you're going to struggle in the early days of public speaking. So it's always smart to just talk in a public setting about something that you're super knowledgeable about, and the best thing is yourself. So I intended to talk about me for a few videos just to get increasingly comfortable with this and know that I'm just kind of filling the beginning of my story, my platform, my space. There's no real expectation that for a little while my contribution to this platform is going to be searchable. This is just for me to get comfortable in this presence. So a little bit about me. I grew up in New York. I'm a Long Island guy, Nassau County. I actually grew up right near the Nassau Coliseum where the New York Islanders play. Went to college there for a couple of years at Nassau Community College, and then off to Buffalo, New York, which was a really great experience to get away from my home and to experience what it feels like to be a proper adult. But Buffalo was super cold and like changed my desire to be anywhere near winter weather. So I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada immediately after school, and it was probably the smartest thing I ever did. Even though now I look back at that decision from a career perspective and know that I could have done way differently, way better when it comes to career management than moving to Las Vegas. I was a finance major, and here I am, instead of going to Wall Street and doing that kind of work, I decided that I wanted to move to Las Vegas. And fast forward 6 months to 9 months, I was actually dealing at a casino in Las Vegas. So my authentic self is a Vegas explorer at 20 years old. 21, actually. Shoot, I moved there at 23. I don't even know what I was thinking just then. I did do a road trip in my earlier years, but I actually officially moved at 23. And that time was so important because it really allowed me to explore interests and not feel pressured to start my career immediately. So my Las Vegas days are really fond memories, and I go back there regularly, not because I lived there, just because I really enjoy it. I then ended up in Denver, Colorado. Met my wife there, and we had a few kids, and they're now adults, and we lived there outside of 1 year for 12 years. So 12 years in Denver, and an amazing time, DC metro area, 2009. We've been here ever since. So 15 years in the DC metro area, 12 years in the Denver metro area. We moved around a little bit in both times. A couple of years in Las Vegas. I spent some time in LA. I lived in New York later. Of course, I grew up in New York, but I've been around. So a little bit of what we'll talk about here is the importance of exploring, figuring your life out, being comfortable taking risks. Those moves were significant for us. In fact, at one move, we moved a family to the DC metro area. I'm going to check my time here. And we sold everything in advance of that move. We had a truck trailer behind our van. That was our stuff, with a family of 5 and 2 dogs heading east from Colorado. Everyone thought we were nuts. I'll go into detail on that move in the future because it defined the next stage of my life, which is the last 15 years. Now I'm at a new stage. This is a really big pivot moment for me. We're going to be talking a lot about that because it really defines why I'm doing this. But that 15 years since we arrived in DC, massive stage of our lives as a family. I really think it transformed us, and no knock on Colorado, but we were different then. And I think part of your life experience should be checking it out and not feeling and not staying in one place, my opinion. All right, good day 3 video. Hopefully it came across a little better. I'm not purposely bringing energy. This is kind of who I am. But yesterday, man, just dragging. I was just lazy. So I'm going to try to record with a little more interest. But boy, my choice of words today sucked. Totally brain farted at moments, and I'm going to have to edit that part out. Fun times. We're going to get this down to 9 minutes and post it tonight.